Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade Walking Shadow. I'm your executive producer here for Final Show Films Senstaku, also known as John, and I now turn it over to our storyteller, Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm the storyteller for this Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle entitled Walking Shadow. And to introduce you to our characters for this evening, we have Raphael.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Raphael. I play the role of Lysander, the currently injured Ravnos rogue, because I'm going to consider myself a rogue now.
And Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and I play the Toreador, Isla.
And of course, as you already heard from John.
I am John, and I play Gabriel Adelma, the Tremere Warlock.
Absent this evening is Erin, who generally plays Naomi, our Malkavian, but Erin is a bit busy tonight, so we shan't be seeing them, unfortunately.
They are on a plane.
They are on a plane. But they will be back later.
I told them they could get Wi-Fi on the plane, but no.
Yeah. Apparently Wi-Fi reception over the Rockies is just shit this time of year.
Well, whose fault is that, West Coast?
The Rockies aren't on the West Coast, dude.
They're right next to it. They're right next to it.
They're like
literally.
Right
You have to cross them to get to the West Coast.
Yes.
Sure.
You also have to cross Kansas City and the Mississippi River to get to the West Coast. Those are not on the West Coast either.
They're west of me.
But when we last left our coterie of vampires, they had found been made aware of, I should say, the second episode of Masquerade breaking murders in the city of Seattle. Their contact on the sheriff's staff, Jimmy Ulster, had sent them to an apartment building in South Lake Union where they found 3 corpses, and Naomi, using her fantastic levels of perception, was able to make a psychometry read on one of the corpses and figure out exactly what's been going on. Apparently, several vampires have been bleeding their victims and exsanguinating them via mechanical rather than biological, I suppose you'd say, means, utilizing some sort of implement to extract the blood from their murder victims. And there was also evidence that one member of the household had escaped and survived the murders. So an individual known as Ronaldo Juarez, somewhere around the age of 17 to 18 probably. Best guess, anyway. So he is apparently loose on the streets of Seattle and probably fairly traumatized at this point. But returning for the day's rest back to Gabriel's house and shop and store and all the manner of things that he keeps under his roof, Gabriel experienced a phenomenon known as the somnium sanguinum, a bloody dream based on the previous memories of an individual that he had diablerized, which is what they call it when you drink another vampire dry and weird shit happens to you.
And he liked it.
So we pick up right about the time that everybody will be waking. Dusk falls once again on Seattle's water and hills, bringing the damp and cold back to the streets. Wan streetlights flicker fitfully as if loath to awaken to the night's work, and a light rain is falling, dripping down imposing Ventru architecture, flowing into drains beneath Bruja bars and washing filth and gore out of subterranean Nosferatu abattoirs. And somewhere across town, 2 figures stand before a screen separating them from a seated silhouette. The voice they hear is smoothed, pitched higher than either of the lackeys. So, we are pleased with your numbers and your restraint. We freely admit that there were concerns at first, but our worries regarding your self-control seem unfounded. However, the escape of the witness is regrettable. You are not only our hands, but you are also meant to be our eyes and ears. One of the pair starts, his gaze darting wildly about the room as he recoils, and the other claps his hands over his ears, keening sharply as if subjected to an incisive pain. The screened figure remains motionless, watching the duo suffer whatever tortures are being inflicted for a few minutes, before speaking again. Enjoy your evening, gentlemen. Get out. And you guys awaken in Gabriel's shop. Lysander is in a coffin, as is his wont. Isla, I believe, was still on the couch in the upstairs studio. And Gabriel, you're on your bed.
Yep.
And you wake up first.
Yes, I do. I wake up an hour before everybody else. I have a theory that I need to test.
Okay. Everybody also needs to spend a blood point as soon as
Yep.
they become conscious. Don't forget that. What theory, sir?
So, I get up and I look over at Isla, who is asleep on the couch.
Does this theory involve Isla?
Potentially. And I go into the bathroom,
Oh, okay.
finding something sharp in the cabinet, and some gauze.
Okay.
And I slice my hand and just hold the gauze, letting it soak in, letting the blood from my palm soak into it. I'm pouring at least a blood point into it, so I'll go ahead and spin that.
Okay.
Pull my hand back, lick the wound closed, and I leave it on the floor, like underneath the sink. So it's not out in the open. It's just there in the bathroom.
Okay.
And then I go downstairs and go about my regular daily stuff. My
All
morning
right.
routines.
Okay.
I check in with Serenity, see how the day went, see if the apartment got leased in our domain,
It has.
which means
Serenity tells you that all the paperwork's been handled. The first 3 months have been paid, and she slid the keys under Naomi. She got Naomi's address and
Yeah.
slid the keys under her door.
good. Then she'll be moving in there this evening, so we won't need to worry about bothering her for anything.
Nope. She should be
Anything-
fine.
Anything interesting happened while I was asleep?
We got another call from that police officer.
What was the content of the message?
She wants to stop by later and talk to you about the investigation that went down from the items you had dropped off at the appraisers.
Certainly.
All right.
Did she
Well,
give a time?
I told her 8:00,
What time is it now?
6:30.
Okay. So, plenty of time.
Yep.
I'm gonna go out, unlock the. I'm gonna go out and unlock the coffin Lysander is still asleep in, so he doesn't break it. And I'm gonna start putting together. A mirror trick. I'm gonna put together basically a flash pot at the base of mirror, in such a way that I can and angle it so that I can be standing over by my desk, and whoever comes through the door to the warehouse from the shop will see me standing very clearly, and with several flash pots around it, so that when they see me, I can turn, hit the button, and the entire mirror and flash pots go up in an explosion, making it look like I blew up.
Right.
In a non-dangerous way, it just also cripples. And it's like the mirror is just a shard of mirror, so that it'll crumple underneath the explosion when it happens, and it won't be very it won't be noticeably a mirror breaking.
Okay.
So I go to start setting that up.
All right. Give me an intelligence and crafts roll, difficulty 6.
And this does count as magic apparatus, correct?
Yes, it does. 100%.
Intelligence, craft, difficulty what?
6.
3 successes.
Okay. So yeah, you set it up, get the angle right on the mirror, and you're pretty confident that this is going to go off without a hitch. range.
Yep.
As long as you're in the right position and it's not just like half of your reflection.
Yeah,
in which
no,
case it would be much less impressive.
I have marked the position next to my desk that I need to be
Alright.
standing at. So basically, the idea is that whoever I want to walk through the door, and I'm basically standing off to the side of them where you don't tend to look when you're walking
Right.
through because the door's there. And so like the eyes drawn forward, click, boom, and then I appear behind the door that they just came out of.
Right. Sounds good. Awesome. So that is arranged, which is about the time that everybody else wakes up.
So, would I be able to smell this blood-soaked gauze from the bathroom from where I am?
You probably would. How many blood points do you have right now in your bank, as it were?
7.
7. Okay, so you're well above half. So go ahead and give me a perception and alertness roll, difficulty 6.
Okay. Wait, I've lost the window there. Oh, okay. 2 successes.
2 successes. All right. So yes, you wake up, sit up, kind of stretch your shoulders a little bit, because even when you're undead, you can get a little tight from sleeping in the wrong position. And you scan the room looking for Gabriel, because he was there when you fell asleep. He's not there, but you can smell his blood in the bathroom.
Okay. So, yeah, she would head directly there.
All right. And yeah, you go in the bathroom and your eyes are drawn immediately to a bloody rag beneath the sink.
Now, I kind of feel like I want to roll, like, I don't know, like intelligence and empathy or something to see if she can figure out. She's a fairly bright individual.
She's reasonably intuitive, yes.
So I feel like my instinct would be that she would instantly know that he did this on purpose, that he wants her to find this and consume it. So I just want to know, like, game mechanics wise, is it fair for me to say that she's aware that he did this on purpose?
Given the proper roll, quite possibly.
Okay.
Your difficulty is going to be 6, because that's the sum of Gabriel's manipulation and subterfuge, and you'll be rolling wits and empathy. Difficulty 6.
Wits I'm not as great at, I don't think, as intelligence, but we'll see. Okay, difficulty 6. 3 successes.
Okay, so yes, you are aware that this has been left probably deliberately, not only just because it's Gabriel, but also because you know that he does blood magic. He's a vampire, so you don't just leave blood lying around. If either of those two are correct with you. You also know that give me an intelligence and medicine roll, intelligence and occult, difficulty 6.
Intelligence and occult, difficulty 6. 4 successes.
Okay. The blood has begun to dry a bit around the edges of the cloth, and your best guess is it's been lying there long enough that it's probably inert at this point. Even if you did try and drink it, you wouldn't get any benefit from it, and it definitely wouldn't affect you in the way that you need.
Okay.
However, it is still his blood.
Right. So, she kind of rolls it up and slips it into the pocket of her jacket.
Okay. That's going to be messy.
Hold up nice, pack it.
Yeah.
But it's an entire piece of gauze, dude.
Okay, let me picture this. You said it was, okay, so is it like literally like a dripping...
So like it's still moist in the center. Yeah, it's a piece of gauze about half the size of a paper napkin that's been almost completely saturated with blood. The edges are dry, but the middle is not.
Okay. Yeah, what would she do with it?
I mean, there's more like gauze and like medicine stuff in the room you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where
Okay,
Serenity keeps her first aid shit.
basically, you know, sorry for being super gross here, but she does just like suck on the middle of it for a while, and then she gets some more gauze and wraps it up so that it's not like messy, and then stuffs it into her pocket.
Okay. All right.
Breakfast.
I was gonna say, how is that gross?
We're vampires. Come on.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, I know.
you guys
Exactly.
do
I
realize
always talk
the
about
sort of
grossness.
presuppositions of this setting.
I
right?
know it's weird that I know it's weird that I would be here if I'm grossed out by blood, but there you are.
All right. So, while Isla is busy having her bathroom snack, Lysander, you wake up in your coffin.
Okay, so I wake up, I wake up still upset from the night before because I'm still thinking about Diana, and there's just like a million and one thoughts running through my mind, and it's always an instinctual thing for Lysander that whenever he thinks about Diana and he thinks about the worst case scenario, he sings their favorite song, which is by this group named King. It's called Hey, and so if anybody's in the room, they would just start hearing him sing in a very low and fragile tone. He's just like, "Hey, I know."
So you hear from the other side of the room Gabriel going, "If
So-
you're gonna sing, get out of the coffin."
And I just say, "Let me weep in peace."
Oh,
We have company coming in about an hour. Get out of the coffin.
Fine. And I get out of the coffin and I look in my vicinity and see a bunch of crazy shit going on. I'm like, Gabriel, what?
It's called magic.
Oh yeah, you do that. And I'm gonna walk to his vicinity and I'm going to ask him, so how is everything with the apartment?
It's been taken care of. Naomi will be moving in this evening and setting up, so we won't have any of her assistance tonight. But, it's in her name. 3 months have been paid up. She'll be moving in. And once our visitor has been dealt with, we can move on to our investigations.
That would be the best thing.
Do you have any active warrants in the city?
Jack, do I have any active warrants in the city?
you do not, actually, to your knowledge.
Yeah. No, I'm clean.
Okay, good, because it's a police detective coming to talk to me. So.
Oh. Okay.
Yes.
That's always fun.
Yes, well. I find a charming smile. Gets through a lot.
And I say that with the heaviest of eye rolls, the most disdain. I'm just like, yeah. And I just walk.
Oh, if you're afraid of... if you get jumpy
just-
around fire, don't be near the door.
There's not a lot that can phase me at the moment, and I just go and literally just go walk into a corner and just stare at the wall.
Don't mind my friend. He's being emo today.
Oh.
And I just stay silent.
Bad breakup.
Oh.
I'm just
So
gonna be
sad.
like,
Have you-
don't forget food. I'm hungry.
Have you changed your clothes, by the way?
Huh? Me?
I think
mean,
so. I think we changed.
You
into
gave
some
me
of
a
my-
shirt,
Yeah.
and like my coat is like kind of in tatters, but I do have to get. You did say that you were going to get that tailored, or I was going to give it to you so that we can get tailored, and I would
Yeah.
just probably pay for it.
So you're
Yeah.
you're wearing like my clothes right now. So. Yeah.
I'm wearing your shirt. I think that's about the only thing I'm wearing from like your clothing. Everything else, I think I'm wearing everything except like everything except my own personal shirt.
Mhm.
Okay. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure you weren't riddled with bullet holes and covered in blood when the police came.
Yeah. No, and he's wearing an intact shirt. There are still some gashes in his jacket, but Lysander, if you've been examining your physiology at any point over the last couple days, the rends from the claws in your actual flesh are slowly beginning to seal up. Not nearly as fast as most injuries would,
Yeah.
but fast enough.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
Surprisingly, you are having some residual scarring from it, though.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So yeah, I'm just working on that until the police detective gets here.
Okay. Isla, are you coming down, or are you just having a thoughtful sip?
No, she
Daily
you know,
vitamin.
wraps the thing up, stuffs it in her pocket, and then she goes downstairs to just see what's going on, if she's needed or whatever. And
Okay. First person you see is Serenity. She's in the magic shop. Just kind of glances at you. Morning, Starshine.
morning, bitch. She doesn't say that. She's just thinking it really loud.
I was just gonna.
It's like there was a massacre in the magic shop.
She is too smart to say that out loud, but thinking it.
One victim does not a massacre make.
It's not about the number of victims, but the number of parts.
The number of
found
pieces.
later.
And Isla just finds some reasonably unobtrusive way to just hang out near Gabriel.
That's fine. No, I mean
Right, so
he's hanging out at his desk.
right, so
it'll say,
you walk into the into the workshop.
if and you'll see the thing that I'm building.
What is that?
Oh, just a bit of magic trickery.
What for?
To entertain a guest we're having in roughly an hour or so.
Oh, who's coming over?
We have a police detective who wishes to speak with me about some stolen articles.
Oh. Did you steal them?
Not that she's aware of.
And Isla does that kind of laugh, like, that's the funniest thing anyone's ever said in my entire life kind of laugh.
It wasn't that funny.
Sorry.
It really wasn't.
Go stay in your corner,
Gabriel-
emo boy.
Gabriel
I
and
haven't moved.
Lysander. Perception and alertness difficulty 8.
Is this like visual, audio? What is it?
It's not visual, no.
Difficulty 6.
0 successes.
Oh,
Well, actually, how much blood do you have right now, Lysander?
Me, I am currently at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of blood from the
5? Okay,
that I took and the 1 from this morning.
All right. Then difficulty 7 for you.
Okay.
I have 0 successes.
Does eyes in
Okay.
the back of my head qualify for me?
No, it's not visual, so it's not gonna.
3 successes, 4 if it was
Okay.
eyes in the back of my head.
So yeah, Gabriel, you're busy mucking around with your apparatus, so you're focused on that. Lysander, when Isla walks in, you can smell blood on her. You don't recognize it as any particular type blood, but there's a faint whiff. For whatever that's worth.
I just go like, and I just pull out my phone and I just look through it because I don't even want to get involved in it. I'm actually checking to see if I've gotten any word from any more word from
Featherstone?
From Featherstone or from Reinhardt.
Okay. Nothing from Reinhardt. Featherstone gives you a little bit of a status update, still looking to see if he can figure out where the graffiti artists are active currently. Because you'd mentioned wanting to talk to Sundown again, right?
Yes,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
with the whole party, including Gabriel, because I want
Exactly.
Gabriel just to light shit up, just in case any kind of shit goes down. Because we need to assert our dominance to these, these vessels.
Light it up,
Alright.
up.
They have a lot of flammable items next to it, so it's going to be really pretty.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, no. If you light the paint on fire, ooh, looks great. Smells great too.
Yeah.
All right. But but Featherstone says he'll get back to you as soon as he has something concrete.
Yeah, then I'm just going to look at the picture that what's it called? Featherstone sent me, and just look at it. Just look.
I am going to let Isla know if. Be warned, this, as I'm pointing at the mirror and flashpots, will be going up in flames, so stay back.
Thank you.
Yes. Not long-lasting flames, but flames nonetheless.
And right about then is when you hear the door open and the bell go.
I'll go stand in my position.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Isla, give me a charisma and performance roll. Difficulty, or actually no, an intelligence and performance roll. Difficulty 6.
Okay. 3 successes.
Okay, that's enough to where because you've been gravitating towards Gabriel, you've been standing in fairly close proximity to him, but since he's explained this magical apparatus thing to you, you kind of get the impression that if there's more than one person in the reflection, it's probably not going to go off very well as far as creating the type of impression that he's trying to. So you pull back far enough to where you're pretty sure your reflection isn't showing up in the mirror at all.
Okay.
Question: would I be able to make a roll just to stealth out of the area, like kind of just like go to like where the staircase is and kind of just like chill there, and unless I'm like really needed?
You'd have to go through the door to do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But if you're looking to just stay out of the way and make sure you're not visible to anybody coming in the workshop, go ahead and make a dexterity and stealth roll, difficulty 6.
Okay.
He fails and gets spotted.
Difficulty 5, actually. There's a shit ton of junk in here, and finding a hiding spot is not that difficult.
Yeah.
People think he's a thief and start shooting at him.
Well, even in World of Darkness, generally, the police don't just say you look like a thief and pull their gun.
0 successes.
Okay, so you're just kind of lurking at this point. You're not really concealed, but
hanging out.
I'm still going to be looking at my phone at the picture. Just letting you know.
Now, Gabriel, give me a wits and alertness roll. Difficulty 6.
Two successes.
Okay. So you're listening and you hear the footsteps coming. You definitely recognize they're not Serenity's footsteps, so you're assuming this is probably the person, and you're just waiting. And just when she hits the threshold of the workshop door, you're pretty sure right now's the time.
Yep. So I will look up at the mirror, wait until she looks up and meets eye contact, and trigger the explosion.
Okay. Give me a dexterity and performance roll. Difficulty 5. She was not expecting it.
And this qualifies as street magic, I believe.
Yeah, pretty well.
4 successes.
So the flash pots go off. The glass cracks, shatters, and falls into whatever surface you had prepared for it, so it doesn't make too much noise.
Yep.
And she just goes, "Jesus Christ!" and takes a step back.
And I'm right next to her, going, "Yes."
She takes about 30 seconds to recover her equilibrium, and she has a slightly frustrated look on her face.
Apologies, detective. I was working on a trick for a client.
Well, no harm done, I suppose. I'll just have to wait for my pulse to settle a bit.
What can I do for you this evening?
We've continued investigation into the situation that had arisen at the appraisers, where you had left your items for evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't recovered them, per se. William's authentication did provide us with a measure of security information that will hopefully lead us to the apprehension of the criminals. There was a exterior camera, however, that did catch a car in the vicinity that evening. Fairly recognizable one.
Mm-hmm.
Had you been in the area after dropping off your items?
What evening was this? This was...
She'll name the date because I don't have it in my records.
Yeah. Ah,
She'll name the night of chapter 6.
yeah. Potentially. Let me check my calendar. I'll go over to his desk and pull out a notebook and flip through it. And it's filled out way more than it ever would need to be because I just I go back and backdate meetings and things on the calendar. Because
Several different colors of pen.
yeah, things that Serenity might have been doing. Yes, in fact, I was meeting with a client to discuss a variety of stage effects they were looking to do for their performances. Roughly in that area, not... Oh, yes, right here. And I'll pull up a thing that just has, like, a name that's, like, first letter, last name, and then a meeting time on it. And it's an address in that area, but not next to that area.
Gotcha. Go ahead and give me a manipulation and subterfuge roll. Difficulty 8.
Okay. I'm going to spend a willpower for an auto success on this.
Okay.
Two successes makes 3.
All right. She gives you a look out of the corner of her eye, a short nod, then glances around and you see her eyes rest on Lysander and then Isla. Could we speak in private?
Certainly. Out back or out front?
Lead the way.
I'll, indicate, go through the shop, closing the door behind me.
Okay.
I was distressed by this, but
And
can do nothing
go
about
out
it.
to the front. Yes.
And she gives you a very level look. I understand your profession is one that you probably invoke a great deal of secrecy, misdirection, deception, that sort of thing. But I would very much appreciate you not projecting those sort of impulses into our interactions. This is a serious matter and will require your absolute cooperation.
Of course. Have I not been forthcoming?
That would be a question you would be able to answer before I would, but not much sooner than I would.
I assure you, you have my full and utter cooperation. Is there anything else you need?
Circumstances regarding this burglary and destruction of property are being handled with a great deal of care and emphasis. As I'm sure you could expect, there's a number of fairly powerful people, both in the city and outside it, that utilize the services offered by such businesses as Williams. If you have anything that you would like to explain or offer, sooner would be better than later, and things that arise over the process of an investigation that could have been explained by the individuals concerned beforehand generally are not looked upon favorably by either the police or the courts.
Well, if you would like a full itinerary of my dealings that evening, I can provide it to you. if that's what you're looking for.
That would be a good start. You
All
still have
need
my
to do
card?
is ask. Yes, of course.
Send it to our offices.
I shall indeed.
Very well. And her demeanor softens just fractionally. She gives you a little bit of a half smile. With any luck, you won't hear from me again.
Well. Oh, do tell me, how did you like the performance?
I think it accomplished what you hoped for it to.
I'll take that as a yes, you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Have a good evening, Mr. Adelmar.
You as well.
And she will walk around the corner of the building and go to whatever vehicle she had previously arrived in.
I'll go back inside.
Okay. All right. So
Are you
Gabriel
all
goes
right?
back
What
inside.
did she say to you?
Oh, nothing. The usual. Anything that you hold back will be used against you. Da 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 da.
But you have the situation under control, right?
I mean, as far as I'm aware, yes.
Isla does not look really comforted by that answer.
I want to know, love it. I want you to show me. That's just Lysander in the corner spell.
She wants an itinerary of the events that I was taking place in that evening, which I can easily provide. In fact, we were parked outside the building I pointed her to. I'm sure there are street cameras. I can probably verify that. Because we did park several blocks away.
You did. Yep.
In an alley where there were no cameras.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's no big deal. If all else fails, then the police detective goes missing and the world continues to spin.
All right.
Anyways. Lysander, are you done?
And I miss you back, and I don't want to miss it.
Pretty sure that's a no.
I check my phone to see if Crow has sent me anything.
Let me see. What was the last thing you asked him?
I sent him. I talked to him and I sent him the pictures of the mechanical device.
Right.
And
Okay.
he basically said, we've received new information regarding previous request. We know it's not a vampire's bite anymore. We still know it's a supernatural creature, but here's the device that's been doing the exsanguination.
Okay. Yes, he has responded. He has absolutely no idea. He's looking into it, and without having the actual object on hand, given that mostly what he's got is a pencil sketch of it.
Pencil sketch. It's like more like a blueprint schematic, but yeah.
Yeah. But still, just having an illustration of it, he's not entirely sure.
Yep. Well, take back. We'll do best to acquire sample.
Okay. And what else are you guys planning?
Well, once Lysander gets his shit together.
Lysander has now just resorted to humming the Flintstones theme song because she's feeling today. And he's just going to walk towards them, just going to be like, I'm not going to be of much help for you guys today, so I'm low on blood and I'm still not fully recovered.
Well then, go lay in your coffin and we will get you some food and discuss what should be done next.
And I'm going to walk to the coffin and and I'm going to turn around and be like, by the way, you guys haven't updated me on anything that happened the night before. I want to know everything. Because you guys haven't sent me anything about the kidnap, about what happened at the apartment.
We did.
No,
We
you
told
didn't.
you everything, didn't we?
Nope, don't think you have.
Oh,
No, you didn't
I
tell me
explained
anything.
everything that happened to.
Because
this is
and
what
Naomi
happened in
also
the
sent a
previous
picture
episode.
to everybody except me.
This is what happened in the previous episode.
Yeah, like, interesting. Can I get a picture of that thing?
Sure. Send it to him via text.
Thanks.
Let me know if you recognize it, or if someone you know does.
I'll see what I can. I'll see what I can do, and I'm just gonna go into my coffin.
Isla's manner around
Thank you, sir.
Lysander is very strange. She seems to be just watching him like she's trying to figure something out, but she's kind of standoffish and just like really watching him.
She mad because I didn't acknowledge your presence.
All right, Gabriel, do you bring up your dream at all? You don't have to.
I feel like Gabriel would.
No.
Okay.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Is it secret? Is it safe?
Yes.
He's just smiling very, very vividly about it. It's just
No,
like he,
not right now.
in his head he is.
Gabriel's face is always completely controlled, which drives police detectives to no end of frustration.
Isla is on occasion getting a slightly snug look on her face when she thinks she is unobserved or otherwise not engaged. She's defaulting toward a slightly smug smile.
Okay.
Lysander is a honey badger. He just doesn't give a fuck.
So, go out to the
Don't
car. Click, click, open. Motion for Isla to get in.
She gets in.
Close.
I-
Get in the driver's seat.
I send a group text. Just keep me updated.
All right.
Will do. And driving to the domain to do some hunting.
Okay. All right.
As we go, talking to Isla. So, we need to discover what's going on with your sire and his. We know that they are connected. Well, they are at the very least connected via medium of spray paint, and through their supposed deaths that are no longer deaths. And also need to discover what these objects, what this object is, and who it is that is using it. And I need to get a police detective off my back. I have a long list of things to do.
Well, let me know if I can be of any help.
Well, do you have any ideas?
Not yet.
Well, when you have an idea, let me know.
I will.
After they left, I did send the blueprint schematic to Featherstone with the message. Do you know what this might be?
Dueling Nosferatu information brokers.
Fortunately, they don't play banjos.
As
So
long as you know.
after about 20 minutes or so, Featherstone will text back. Looks handcrafted. Don't know about its function. What is this relevant to?
I'm going to text him. It's relevant to the case of I've explained to him the whole situation about what it was used for, what Gabriel told me, and how it's linked to the case that he gave me, that he helped me out with the information before. And now it's including my sire, so now it's become a lot more personal.
Okay. He'll respond back. I'll look into things. Don't know why they would collect blood rather than drinking it.
I'm going to text
I'll
back.
see what I can find.
Yeah, I'm going to text back. Neither do I, but I trust you. I'm finding the information. So.
Because my only knowledge about this comes from the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines video game, which is a really great game. In that game, which is considered canon,
Yeah.
they
Pretty close.
the vampires were able to drink blood stored in blood packs,
Hmm.
like they were medically retrieved, stored like in a blood bank, and then
Yeah.
stick a straw in it, drink it.
Mhm.
Is that what's the full extent required to store blood in such a way that the vitae remains viable for vampires? Is that the only way, or are there other ways?
Pretty much. Basically, if blood can be utilized for a transfusion still, it's considered viable.
Okay.
However, if it's sitting in a rag in a bathroom floor for an hour, you can't use that as a transfusion anymore, so it would be considered inert.
Yeah.
So unpreserved blood lasts outside of a body maybe 15, 20 minutes,
Okay.
based on how I've read the research.
So if one were to measure the full amount of blood in a human body into a tank, how hard would it be to preserve that tank?
As far as the volume doesn't necessarily change the preservation problem in terms of storage or longevity. It's not like the blood has to be parceled out into individual bags in order for it to be stored. You could exsanguinate an entire human into a sizable enough container, and as long as you refrigerate it and keep it stored, it'll be good for a while.
Yeah. So just as we're driving, I'm thinking, what if they're storing the blood? What if, for whatever reason, there's a person that can't feed normally? They're paralyzed, stuck in a chair, stuck in a wheelchair, missing both of their legs. And for whatever reason, they need these lackeys to go out once every month or so, or a few months. Siphon enough blood for them to last on for the remaining months. And that would be why they are not happening every night, but are taking so much and not drinking it directly.
I assume he's thinking out loud.
Yes,
all this?
that's him thinking out loud. That's him just talking
Okay.
as he's driving.
I think that makes sense.
But is it the
Can
only
you
thing
think-
that makes sense?
I don't know what else human blood in large quantities could be used for other than feeding. There, admittedly, I don't know as much about our kind as you likely do, but
The only other use for human blood is thaumaturgy, but typically that's internalized first and then used. It's the only thing I can think of, which means that we're looking for a facility that can house preserved human blood in canisters.
right.
How many hospitals are there in Seattle? I asked to the person who's not driving and therefore has hands free to check the phone.
Isla
Oh,
then
he's
looks
learning.
it up, I guess.
Easier.
Isla dutifully gets out her phone and searches for that information, I guess. As
Oh,
do
okay.
I guess.
I mean, it's readily available information on Google.
Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 places where you think they might be able to store.
And of those 5 or 6, how many have long-term emergency care facilities?
That's beyond my Googling skills, I'm afraid. So I'll have to let the storyteller handle that one.
Probably about 2 or 3.
Probably about 2 or 3, says Isla.
Are any of them children's hospitals?
One of them is.
Excluding that, we've got 2. Could our... Does one of them happen to be Kindred Hospital for Seattle First Hill?
Why, yes, one of them does.
Could it be that our villain is so confident in oneself that they went to a hospital named Kindred? Jack's like, that might not have been the original idea, but it is now. If I'm thinking logically, and I were to be, looking over, indicating myself, looking back at the road, if I were to be hospitalized or have my legs removed entirely, obviously I wouldn't die because I'm immortal. But the only place that I could fit in would be in a hospital, in some form of long-term emergency care, likely with a ghoul or other vassals or servants operating as my nursing staff, taking care of me during the day in a sheltered, high-security hospital room. I would then need my 2 helpers to go out at night and acquire blood, because I could not do it myself.
Aww.
Why would I not simply have them raid... No, I wouldn't have them raid the blood banks of the hospital itself, because that would raise suspicion. Whereas cryogenically frozen tanks...
I wouldn't think that such a person would go to a hospital. That would be far too public and mixing with all sorts of people. I would think if there were some armless, legless vampire needing to be fed who was powerful enough that people would actually go to this much trouble for him or her, I would think that this individual would be hiding somewhere in a dark hole in the ground in a cave and sending people out from there. I mean, I wouldn't think they would risk mixing with ordinary mortals.
Well, that depends. Would you resign yourself to a dark hole in the ground?
Yes. Yes, I would.
I would,
depending on the circumstances.
Remember,
I might
this
just
is
not
the one
bother
that
to
you
eat at
found
all.
in a
Well,
closet.
in a closet, but not a hole in the ground.
Depending on the circumstances, I might very well.
Not all vampires would.
Hashtag not all vampires.
Hashtag
Sorry.
Not all hashtag not all vampires. There are many for whom their pride wouldn't allow that. My kind are among that number.
Well, we don't know who we're dealing with. We don't know what kind of person it is.
No.
Gabriel, not everyone is exactly like you, unfortunately.
No, they're not. Very few are exactly like me. But still thought, maybe not a hospital, but some form of high security building, something with subterranean access, somewhere where the light doesn't easily get even during the day.
I almost wish that we could set up. I wish that we could lure them to do this again so that we could watch where they take this blood.
Well, if we knew their
Follow them.
patterns. If we knew a pattern, we could, but we don't know the pattern.
Hmm.
The only thing we can try to do is find that boy and try to find your sires.
I did leave a message for the boy, but he hasn't called me back.
Did he perhaps leave you a message during the day?
I don't have any messages on my phone that I'm aware of. Storyteller.
You do not have any voicemails that you can find. Nope.
Okay.
Mhm.
It might be possible to draw out my sire or the person attempting to pass himself off as my sire. It would be possible to use me as bait, but without being entirely sure of what we are dealing with, I don't know how safe that would be for me.
Well.
Because if it is not my sire, it is clearly someone who is attempting to bait me for whatever reason.
If we were to do such a thing, you have no need to fear that I would be anywhere but near you.
Do vampires blush? If they do, then she.
They can.
They can if they choose to.
Uh,
Regardless.
she's trying to play it cool, so.
In that case, give me a manipulation and expression roll, difficulty 6.
That's the play it cool roll.
Play it cool. 3 successes.
All right. Yeah, no, you don't
Cool as
blush.
a cucumber. Cool as a cucumber.
Quite.
Regardless of the task at hand, let us acquire some food for ourselves and our injured friend. And we pull up into the domain, I guess.
Yep. You're right about this time is when you'd be arriving.
So, park.
Okay. It's a fairly light night. Hardly anybody's out on the street.
Probably because the
And
repeated episodes of people going missing or falling unconscious or being sent to the hospital.
and it seems like everything's pretty light at this point. Still kind of early-ish in the evening, so that might be a contributing factor as well.
Well, while we're thinking, we can be waiting for it to thick out.
Isla says, I'm not good at hunting. I can attempt to assist you in small ways, but I should not be entrusted with attempting to find and bring down prey.
Oh, no problem. We can work together. Not a problem at all.
All right,
right.
so what's your strategy?
Well, I'm going to wait until... I suggest we wait until it's slightly more populated so that there will be a larger amount of people to pursue. And perhaps we should go to a club and see if we can't get ourselves a crowd of excitable young people.
Well, if you will, just don't send me off alone, all right?
I wouldn't dream of it.
All right. I failed spectacularly at hunting on my own, so I require backup.
All of us have our strengths, and it is used in conjunction that we work our best.
I agree.
So I'm going to wait a couple hours until the party crowd arrives.
Okay. So there's only one club per se in your domain. That's Nectar Lounge.
Yep.
Right next to the taco place.
Oh, hey. Sometimes you want tacos, sometimes you want to dance. You never want to do both, though. Trust me, it's bad.
It's very messy. Yeah.
All right. You guys can both easily make the cover charge to get inside if you want.
Yeah.
And it's not a heavy population in there this evening. There are people, but it's not packed by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. Look over at Isla, look around. Is there like a nice dark corner?
Oh, there are several nice dark corners, yes.
I'll indicate one of the nicest and darkest of the corners.
Okay.
How about over there?
All right, just tell me what to do.
I'll go sit in the corner. Once we're seated, I'll go get us a couple of drinks, and as people come in, see if there's anything that you particularly like. We'll basically...
It's for Lysander, isn't it?
Well, for all three of us. One for each.
Oh.
See if we can't... What's the term? Schmooze, I think is the term. Schmooze our way into a few bits of prey.
All right. She seems very nervous about this whole concept.
You just basically sit here and look pretty.
All right, I can do that.
And have delightful conversation when somebody arrives.
All right.
I'll go get drinks for the two of us. And basically, the idea is it's sort of the classic, the classic social vampire hunting scheme, where
Okay.
you basically create an atmosphere of party, through alcoholic and various other means, to gather a crowd in your area. And basically, let teenagers do what teenagers do, i.e., get wasted and make out, and then you just take advantage of that.
All right.
Like you can
So-
feed in plain sight, no one will notice. It just looks like you're making out.
Okay. So, this is going to be a little complicated because neither of you have the eat food merit, do you?
No, but you can spend a blood point to do so.
This is true. So, anybody who's actually going to be drinking their drink will need to spend a blood point.
I'm going to be surreptitiously dumping it into a plant.
Make a dexterity and subterfuge roll.
Would it be subterfuge
Difficulty-
or? Oh no, sorry, I don't have it. Would it be subterfuge or stealth?
It would be subterfuge.
Okay. Okay.
Because this is a social thing, so it's less of a physical and more of a social.
Yeah, dexterity subterfuge. Difficulty what?
Difficulty 7.
Okay.
Because there are not many plants around.
And does this qualify as I think sleight of hand?
Yeah, I'd say it qualifies.
Oh, wait, no, I don't. That's not my dexterity. I don't have. Wait, I should have a dexterity thing because I have 4 dots.
I think you recently bumped your dex up, though, so you might not have picked a specialty for that yet.
Yeah, can I? I would just say sleight of hand,
Makes
That
sense.
seems pretty obvious, yeah.
which I thought I already had. All right. Difficulty 8, you said, or 7?
7.
7. I'm just spilling my drink everywhere, and I'm just going to eventually stop and spend a blood point to drink it.
So yeah, you go to dump your first drink, and it honestly looks like you just dropped it.
It's like,
Butterfingers.
I'm not doing this tonight, so I'm just going to get another one and drink it. I will fill up later.
Okay. Isla, give me a charisma and etiquette roll, difficulty 6.
That one's had too much already. Fuck you.
1 success.
1 success. All right. So you start to attract some eyes, generally of the male variety.
That wouldn't be an
Couple
appearance.
females.
That wouldn't be an appearance thing.
Hmm?
That
This
wouldn't
was
be an appearance.
This one is charisma
Okay.
because you're trying to. This is not
Get them talking and stuff.
right. This is they get them talking. Yeah, no, you
Okay.
guys definitely already attracted plenty of attention just walking into the place.
As we do.
As you do.
As one does.
Current neonate power couple of Seattle. But yeah, so you start to draw some people into a more social environment. Gabriel, go ahead and give me a charisma and expression roll, difficulty 6.
Don't flub on this one. Three successes.
All right. And so, Gabriel, you're kind of doing a back and forth pass off mechanic with Isla at this point. She's drawing people in. You're the entertainment, though.
Yeah.
You start to put on that sort of classy, funny guy thing. You start telling some stories. You get a little bit of the raconteur going, and pretty soon you've got a group of about 7 or 8 people in your corner, all local, and you're just entertaining the entire crowd pretty well.
Yep. And making sure the drinks are flowing freely.
Okay. So yeah, you grab a bottle for whatever passes as a table, and you're beginning to engage individually with a couple of the people. How do you guys plan to shift the mood from entertaining to slightly more engaging on a physical level.
The way these sorts of parties always go. First, you start telling stories. Then you keep drinking. Then you start doing...
You play spin the bottle?
Then you play truth or dare.
Oh, okay.
And then the groping.
And then groping begins.
All right. Well, who's going to take point on the truth or dare?
And we lost
shift?
Raphael.
Darn it.
Raphael, come back. Oh, he went off entirely. Like, he dropped all the way.
There he is.
Here he comes.
Hey, there he's back.
Welcome
And he's back.
All right. So which portion of this are we going on? Or is the stories first, drinking, and then truth? What are we on?
Right. So we've got the drinks. You've done the stories. Who's
Okay.
going to make the shift towards truth or dare? You or Isla?
I mean, both of us, really.
Okay.
We're in this...
Isla is completely just sort of following his lead here because she has zero confidence when it comes to, because of her last experience, she's not. So she is just kind of waiting for his cues and just trying to kind of back him up,
Yeah.
All right. Both of you make manipulation and expression rolls then. Expression. Manipulation, expression, difficulty 6.
1 success.
Okay.
3 successes. Does this count as either fast talking or misdirection?
No.
Okay.
Nope. All right. Well, with the cumulative 4 successes, the game is on. Switching back to Lysander. Lysander, you get a text back saying from Featherstone saying, need to talk, have some info on graffiti.
I'm going to text him back, not in the best of places at the moment physically, so is this urgent?
And about 30 seconds later, your phone rings.
Speak.
Yeah, so I got you some information on the your little artist girl, and seems like she's been spending some time with that other crew you were talking about. Got a couple noses and ears out on the street saying these artists have been hanging around University District a lot recently, and once I had the photo of the girl, I was able to get some confirmation, and she's been seen with him 2 or 3 times over the past month or so.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say. So I did a little more looking, and seems like there's word on the street that there's a thing happening up at the college where they're looking into putting some new public art spaces up there. Bare concrete that the cops aren't going to get pissed at people painting on and shit.
Have you gotten an exact location where that's going to be?
Somewhere along 55th Street.
All right. And that's by the University District, correct?
Yeah. Portion of 55th between Roosevelt and 20th Avenue Northeast. They're putting like 3 or 4 blocks up where the artists can just go and paint whatever the fuck they want, I guess.
All right.
So you might want to check that out next couple days, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you know if I hear anything else. All right, brother? Sounds good. You doing okay there, man?
Thank you.
Sounds like you got racked up a little bit from what I hear.
Getting better.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see you out on the streets once you're feeling back to your normal self. Yeah.
Getting better. It's not best to try to. Yeah.
You want me to send some of the boys out and keep an eye on those things until you're back on your feet?
Give me about a couple more days. I should be out.
All right, sounds good. And you need anything? You know the kind of merchandise I can move. If you need better protection, you just let me know. I'll cut you a real good deal.
Oh, I'll let you know when I need something.
All right. We'll get you some good hardware eventually. Take care. I'll talk to you later.
Have a good night.
And he'll hang up.
Click.
So, truth or dare, crowd?
So, after a while, after everybody's nice and drunk, I'm going to get up and... Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a lovely evening with all of you. We have to do this again some other night, maybe even tomorrow night, you know what I mean? But the missus and I, and I'm saying that in such a way as they know we're not married already. Like this story has gone around as to why I call her the missus. And it's not because, it ain't because a wedding ring's on her finger, you know what I'm saying? I've got to go because the party don't stop here. That being said, we got a couple of empty seats in our car if anyone wants to continue the party down the road. So I'm basically trying to see if any of them want to come with us to continue the party.
Okay.
How many of these party people want to party all night? Is what I'm saying.
Give me a...
Bearing in mind, I waited until they were really good drunk.
Manipulation and subterfuge. Difficulty. They've been drinking. We'll say difficulty 6.
And Isla will attempt to, boost his chances by just sort of giving people random seductive looks, like, "Come on, you know you want to." She's not actually saying anything.
Difficulty 5.
Difficulty 5. Do I get a bonus for being in our domain?
Yes, you do.
Should have asked that earlier, but
Well, this is about the point where you'd start getting those bonuses.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I hadn't forgotten.
8 successes. If this counts as misdirection, then that's 10 successes.
Yeah, no, it doesn't count as misdirection. But yeah, so
You're gonna need a bigger car.
yeah, with 8 successes, yeah, 2 guys and 2 girls.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been lovely. You 4. Let's go continue this elsewhere. And going to be the drunken shepherd.
Okay.
Gathering them all, and we're going to cram them into the car. Because it seats 5. That means one person is laying across laps in the back.
Right.
That
Which you're already drunk and handsy. Nobody's going to have a problem with that.
Yeah, no. So yeah.
So yeah, they sandwich in. One of the girls is white girl wasted and laughing her ass off as she falls across 3 laps in the back seat.
Oh yeah.
Isla just, demurely gets in the passenger seat and behaves herself.
Does she?
Is she not being a party girl right now?
Well, now that we've got everyone in the car, she's like, "Let's just get them home and eat them."
I have windows down, music blaring, bottle that I bought from the bar in the back seat.
Okay. Well,
so hopefully
let's
they
see
don't
how
notice.
alert the cops are.
I'm not swerving.
True.
Because
But windows down, music
yeah,
blaring,
that's
and a
fine.
clearly passed around bottle.
Yep, that's fine. But
Literally pulling out of a club.
Yeah. I did not drink. I made sure not to drink so much that I would trip a thing.
Can you even take a breathalyzer?
Yes. We can breathe in and out. Our lungs work.
Well, yeah, and you wouldn't trip it anyway because you have a non-functional digestive system.
Yeah. So it would
So
never
you
get
don't
into our
actually
blood alcohol.
metabolize any of the alcohol.
never get into
You're
our
just
blood
able to
alcohol
not
content.
throw it up. Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, the cops do not seem to be terribly attentive this evening, so
Right.
no worries anyway.
So get all the way back to the warehouse.
So yeah, 20 minutes later, you guys are at the warehouse and
Spilling out into the garage.
spilling out into the garage. Lysander, you're in your coffin, right? Yes, you are. We did establish. And so, yeah, immediately the questions start. What is this place? What are you doing here? This is a bunch of weird looking stuff.
Oh man,
Dude,
no,
this shit is awesome.
Look at this shit, and I go and light a fire pot. Bam!
Holy fuck, man!
And then at that point, I'm like nodding to Isla towards the guys, and I take one of the girls around the waist. Now let me show you the real cool shit around back, and I'm gonna lead her out back.
Okay.
So, Isla just like tries to make eye contact with one of the guys, and she's just like,
Got it.
And leave the other two to make out on their own until we drop
Yeah.
on them later.
Oh, Lysander.
Round 2.
So, Lysander, you're in
I-
your coffin.
I make sure to
And
leave
you
the bottle
hear-
with the other two.
Yeah.
Okay. And you hear this god-awful ruckus start about 36 inches away from your head. It sounds like there's a group of multiple people. You do hear Gabriel's voice. As well as probably about 4 or 5 other people, probably.
36 inches away from my head, as in they're in the garage.
They're
Where the coffin
all
is?
in the workshop with you. Yeah.
The
Oh,
two that we
fuck.
left in the workshop may be making out or having sex on a coffin, depending on how freaky they are.
All right.
And I'm just gonna take the girl out back and just make out, bite neck.
Okay.
yeah. And Isla's going to attempt to lure one of the guys upstairs, to
Okay.
the
To the studio.
bedroom area and do the exact same thing.
Okay.
Where Serenity is sleeping.
I am trying to stay as silent as possible, and I'm just going to text. The fuck kind of a party did you bring to the house?
The kind that 8 successes gets you in a club in your own domain.
Oh damn! 8 successes.
8 successes.
Yes, he rolled 8 successes on the "Hey, let's move this party elsewhere" roll. So, let's see. We will start with
Sure.
Isla. Serenity is actually not asleep yet. It's only about 10 p.m.
I'm going to text. If Serenity is out there, tell her to help me knock them both out, please.
So when Isla goes into the room and sees Serenity, she's got a guy with her, and so she's just like, "Hey, you mind?"
Give me a charisma and expression roll. Difficulty 7.
Serenity, come on, be a pal here. 4 successes.
She looks at you and just gives you this wide smile. I'll show myself out. The guy is not nearly as attractive as your previous hunting victim,
Which was exactly probably why Isla chose him.
right? But she's aware of what's getting ready to go down, one way or another. So Serenity will wander downstairs and find a pair of people making out in a workshop. All right. So, Isla, go ahead and give me a dexterity and brawl roll. Difficulty 5. Because he's already drunk and willing.
3 successes.
Right? So yeah, 2 quick kisses and you've got fangs in a neck.
NATO!
All right. Same for you, Gabriel.
Dexterity brawl.
Dexterity
Difficulty
brawl. Difficulty 5.
5.
She's drunk and willing as well, and also a little distracted.
5 successes.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. You don't even bother with the 2 on the lips. You just go straight to the neck kiss, and you've got her right where you want her. Lysander. So
Yes.
You hear two people obviously making out. You hear them bang into something metallic, and then you hear a door open. And there's a slight embarrassed laugh, and then you hear Serenity say, "Well, can I get in on this or what?"
That's my girl. I trained her well.
I'm gonna give it a minute to see if Serenity gives me like an okay. It's time for you to come out and get your food or something. I'll just wait.
So it
patiently.
takes about 15 seconds, and you feel somebody's boot hit the corner of your coffin in sort of a thump, very distinct double tap sort of way.
I just what's it called? I just bring the door open. What do I see?
All right, give me dexterity. Well, are you doing it carefully, or are you going for the
Nosferatu
surprise
jump
moment?
scare. Raphael.
Did we lose him?
Did you hear
I was
the-
going for the. I'm assuming that was Serenity. Huh? What?
Okay.
I was going for the. Just repeat that last part.
Oh, are you doing it stealthily, or are you going for the just surprise maneuver?
I think
Is this
I think he's got a
suddenly to make
delay.
it?
Yeah, that
okay.
is. Yeah, he's got a delay.
Yep.
I'm gonna go stealth.
All right. Go ahead and give me a
Slowly,
creepily
creepily
stealth
opening
roll. Difficulty 6.
You only have a -1 though now, so.
Only have a -1.
Kind of a thriller vibe with the slowly opening coffin. Oh, I'm dating myself again.
It's Thriller.
Thriller is timeless.
Night.
Thriller is timeless. I don't think you can date yourself by referencing.
I
Thriller.
remember when it was new, all right?
It's still
Okay, now
timeless.
you've dated yourself.
Okay.
You went a step too far.
So old.
All right.
Not old at all.
I'm just waiting on roll 20 to.
Yeah, okay. No worries.
Bum, 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 bum,
I'm not
So,
sure if you guys might have gotten the roll. I haven't.
So do I get to just like assume that she gets full up and
So yeah, well, you've definitely made contact. There will be some
Okay.
things that happen post.
Ha!
All right. So you open the door, but it's got a squeaky hinge. And both of the humans look over and kind of jump a little bit. The guy is the mouthy one. Dog, what the fuck you doing laying in a coffin? That's some creepy ass shit. He's getting a little incensed, like he expects that you were laying in there so you could watch.
I'm just going to say, I was waiting for that other guy to let me know when my part came in. I thought there was a magic trick happening. I don't know.
He's like drunk as fuck is what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I'm
Give me a manipulation and subterfuge roll, difficulty 6.
I don't know, pretending to be drunk to a bunch of drunk people? I don't think that'd be that hard.
yeah, so
Probably not.
that ought to be a 5, man.
Word. 3 successes. Oh,
He don't need no stinking 5. Yep. So the guy's demeanor immediately changes, and he just sort of laughs at you, and then looks at Serenity, looks at the other girl, looks back at Serenity, and sort of shoves the other girl towards you.
I just open my arms. I'm like,
Nice.
I walk. I like slowly step out more out of the coffin. I'm just like, I just give him that smile.
Come on, baby. All
I
right.
give him
I'll need a dexterity brawl from you as well. Difficulty 5.
See. Everyone has a good time, and they wake up feeling good.
A little weak, but pretty good.
Pretty good.
One success.
All right. So yeah, she makes out with you for a minute, and then you find your opportunity as well.
Yeah.
All right. How
Oh,
many
no.
is everybody just taking max of the 6 from these people, or what?
I am going to be taking 5.
I
Okay.
only need 3 because I'm at 7.
Okay.
5 puts me at full, so...
Okay.
Actually, sorry, it puts me 1 less than full, but still I'm not taking 5.
I'm trying to cap.
All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Well,
cap, so I'm going to
There are 2 people there.
jokingly before I start my session with this one, say to Serenity, "Get ready to knock me out." I'm going to go for.
All right.
3 out of 1, 3 out of the other.
I'm gonna go for 5.
I mean,
Okay.
you can get 3 of one, 3 out of the other, you know. Because there are 2 guys there. 2 people there.
All right.
You don't
and
have
you're
to-
I was gonna say.
Lysander's starting at 5.
Shouldn't he be starting at 4?
Or yeah.
Because he
I
goes
think
from
so.
10, spends 5, then spends another 1 to wake up.
Yep. So roll willpower. Difficulty.
No.
5.
I started. What's it called?
Because you maxed out last night.
I started from 11 because I maxed out the last time, and then,
Yeah, his dice pool is 11.
yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
maxed out. It would take the 5 off, and then the 1 would bring me down to 5. Yeah.
Right then, 5. I thought your max was 10.
So
yeah,
what am I rolling?
roll me willpower. Roll me willpower. Difficulty 5.
Mhm. And that's just other one, and with the dice
Yeah,
pool.
4 dice minus 1 for your injured state.
As we wait for the dice to roll.
And as you bite,
standard difficulty.
no, difficulty's 5.
Okay.
As all of you bite, you feel that warm blood coat your tongue. And each one of you, while not knowing it, has a similar experience from these 3 that you're feeding on. There's a flash at the back of your mind. And a hunger, but not the parched, dry hunger that you usually feel yourselves from being thirsty or from having low blood, from not having enough vitae in your physiology each night, but a sharper, more focused one that kind of starts somewhere around your knees and rises and ends in your chest cavity. And this just very intense wave of desire and loss washes over your head. You can feel it vibrating throughout your entire figure. And you're suddenly remembering very briefly, because loneliness is something that every kindred experiences. In fact, it's pretty status quo and par for the course. But this is what it's like for a mortal to feel lonely. Because when you walk down the street, 98% of the people you pass are barely even your same species anymore. This is the sort of loneliness that someone finds in a crowd of other people who are just like them, but yet somehow they're still isolated. And you drink, and you drink, and your victims, by turns, are slightly limp, a little disoriented, vaguely confused, but none of them feel frightened. None of them feel panicked or upset. Just very, very solitary in their own way. And as your thirst becomes sated, you slowly pull away. You lick the wounds closed. Your thirst quenched for the moment. And you part from your victim. One of you outside, one of you on a bed upstairs, one of you leaning against a coffin with another pair making out about 5 feet away. Nobody seems to have noticed. Nobody seems to be worried.
Lysander going to top off on the other guy?
Yeah, I'm gonna lick the wound close on this one, and I'm just gonna like, is she like, does she like feel like, I don't know, just like weak, like kind of like limpish? Like, would I be able to like sit her down?
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit her down,
Okay.
and then I'm going to see if I'm just going to kind of like give a knock on the coffin as a sign to what's it called, Serenity, to knock this one out so I can top off, because I don't want to juice box this one.
Okay. So Serenity is playing it off very well. She looks like she's just enjoying making out with a dude. And as soon as you knock the coffin, her eyes snap open and she stares you directly in the face, gives you a very curt sort of nod, and then just whips the guy around and locks an arm around his throat. And it takes about 5 seconds before he just goes completely limp.
Blood flow was already lowered because it was mostly going to his penis. And also alcohol. So
Yep. Right.
he won't remember.
But yeah, no, she
shit.
just compression holds him with very, very practiced technique, and his eyes roll back, and she lays him out on the concrete floor.
And at roughly that point, I walk in carrying mine.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, and I'm just going to take the last blood point from him.
Yeah, you won't even have to roll for that. He's completely incapacitated, and it is no trouble at all.
I just take one, and then I lick them clean,
So
and
what's
I look
this-
at Serenity, and I'm just like, how would we be able to function without you? I'm not. You are.
She just kind of gives you a nod and is like, I do what I do.
So my guy, what's his situation? I've taken 3 blood points from him to fill up. Is he still like on his feet? Like what next? Or what?
So yeah, he's a little groggy.
Well,
But
doesn't the bite
about-
like immediately knock you out?
No, not necessarily. It sedates you somewhat, and it's a little more like a light roofie than an actual like tranquilizer dart.
So she's just gonna like take his hand and be like, hey, "Come on, let's go downstairs," and just try to like get him back with the others because she doesn't want to like have to deal with him anymore. So she's just like,
Let's have a charisma and leadership roll then. Difficulty 7 actually on this one. Because he's a drunk guy with a one-track mind.
Botch.
botch.
Oh,
So he's gonna throw her down on Gabriel's bed, basically.
well, let me see here. High or low?
Hmm?
High or low? Heads or tails?
What does that mean? Oh, hi.
So he doesn't throw her down, but he does protest. It's like, no, come on, stay up here. This is private. This is nice. We
And
should...
seeing that 1, 2, 3, missing 4, I'm going to start heading in and seeing if I can't figure out where Isla went.
If you start heading in, Serenity just kind of jerks a thumb towards the upstairs.
And I head that way quietly, like a cat.
Oh, okay. Dexterity and
I'm
stealth.
going-
Difficulty 5. This is your house. You know your way around. You know which of the stairs make noise.
as he's walking, I'm going to go back to the girl that I drank from first, and I'm going to sit right next to her, and I'm kind of just gonna cradle her and just be sad.
6 successes.
Oh.
All right. So yes, you are borderline silent, like unto a ninja, going up the stairs, Gabriel.
Yeah.
And you can just barely
Rogue.
hear, not an aggressive, but definitely a little bit of a protest going on the other side of the door.
It's like,
Like,
come on.
I immediately stop at the door, dishevel myself,
Okay.
and go and like lean into the door and like sort of burst in like I'm drunk. Dudes, you guys have got to come see what this chick is doing with her tongue downstairs.
All right. Give me a manipulation and subterfuge, difficulty 7.
Okay. Oh, not pool mod 7, difficulty 7.
Yes.
We're not in territory.
2 successes.
Okay. Now
I
that
feel like-
he's been
I feel like-
interrupted.
I feel like I was going to have to start making self-control rolls to resist Gabriel being awesome.
Now that he's been interrupted and there's somebody else in the room that he's not particularly attracted to, although he does think he's pretty damn cool, that's a little bit of that's enough of a mood kill for this guy where he seems to be willing to take things to a different venue.
Yep.
All right.
And I'm gonna like sort of lean against the door so he can walk past. And
Okay.
as he walks past, I just want to trip him so he collapses down the stairs.
Ah. Dexterity and brawl, difficulty 6.
Even though he's drunk
I think so. Let me check just to be sure.
and has previously had 3 points of blood sucked out of it, 3 pints of blood drawn.
Well, you are aiming very specifically for a down the stairs tumble, so
Yep.
All right. Dexterity and brawl. Sorry. Yes, difficulty 6 because generally that would be a difficulty 7, but he is drunk.
3 successes.
3 successes.
So like very like
He
drunken
has to make.
drunken master like clip his foot and then he and hopefully passes out on the fall.
Yes. Let's see here. Yep. He totally does a header right
Just
down the stairs.
Eat shit down the stairs.
Yep. And let's see if he can soak any of that.
I don't know why Lysander rolled 2 successes.
He only soaks one of
It
those.
was just a personal
so-
roll. I was kind of rolling charisma and performance just to see if I could just sing a lullaby.
oh,
Yes, you can. So yeah, he totally eats shit straight down the stairs and is completely
Yay!
stunned and dazed as soon as he hits the bottom.
He's not unconscious.
He's not completely unconscious, but
I'm like,
he's
dude,
half an inch off.
Like, dude, man, I'm gonna start going down. It's like, dude, you have to watch your step, man. That could have been wham.
That'll probably definitely put him out. Give me a strength and brawl. Difficulty 6.
Three successes.
Yep, and that puts him right out.
Just you gotta no. That wasn't a punch. That was a grab slam.
Right. Has the same effect though. All right. So you guys have 4 unconscious people.
All right, completely.
And I'm currently singing to one, and Sir Edding is probably looking at me like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
She is a little, yeah. Just to be honest, she is like, okay, this is a weirdly empathetic moment from the predator.
I look up the stairs at Isla. Did you have your full?
yes. Thank you.
All right. And I pick this guy up over my shoulder and carry him out into the.
All right. Yeah. If you guys are loading up, give me strength athletics. Anybody who's helping, difficulty 6.
No, I'm not gonna load them up.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to walk out into the workshop with him on my shoulder,
Okay.
and suddenly think about it, lean back. Isla, can you grab one of, like, if you open up the closet, there's like spare blankets. Can you grab one of those and then a bottle of wine out of the refrigerator, and then
All right.
come back out into the warehouse?
And
Okay.
Isla does exactly that.
All right.
Lysander is currently sobbing and singing to the tune of "Beautiful Soul" by Jesse McCartney.
Look over at Lysander.
Oh God! Wow.
Look over at Lysander. Look over at
This is some
Serenity.
hardcore brooding.
How long has he been doing that?
She holds
About-
up 3 fingers.
Lysander, get a grip.
I'm still singing.
You are an apex predator.
Yeah, he's not paying attention to him whatsoever. This is yeah.
Once Isla comes down with the stuff, basically lay the blanket out, lay them out on it, strip them, and just like lay them in a pile, as if they
Okay.
had, as if they had been like passed out after an orgy.
Right.
Dump some wine on them, put it in the hand of one of them, and just step back and look at my masterpiece.
Okay.
And Isla's just sort of splitting her attention between watching Gabriel create his masterpiece and also just sort of looking at Lysander, like, as he's doing this display of brooding over here. She's just watching both men, like,
I bet you at this
inscrutable.
time. Yeah, I bet you at this time, Serenity just kind of like, okay, it's okay. I'm gonna take her now. I'm gonna put her over there.
We have to
Yeah,
add
no.
her. We have to add her.
Serenity,
We have to add her to the orgy montage. Come on.
Serenity helps extricate her from the Ravnos and puts her in the collage.
What do you think? They'll think when they wake up that they had a really fucking good time and they don't know where the hell they are or who the hell they're with. What do you think?
I like it. I'm going to crawl back. I'm going to lay the coffin down and just crawl back into it. I'm like, good night.
I'm gonna go lock his coffin.
Thanks.
Don't punch the coffin. Click.
I'll try not to.
Ah.
All right, and at that point, let's take a quick break.
All right. Quick break time. We'll be back in a few minutes with more alcohol. And we're back.
All right. So, everyone's sated. Your victims displayed appropriately across the workshop floor
And each other.
and each other. Lysander retreating to his coffin for the evening of another night of rest and healing. What is everybody up to?
So I'm just going to let Serenity know to, when they wake up, they may need a cab.
Okay.
Um,
I'll make sure it's handled.
Yeah. Just letting you know. Also, good work. Really, that all those improv skills serve you well.
We do what we can.
Did Lysander tell us about the stuff happening at university?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
He was too busy
I'm currently
sobbing.
snoring obnoxiously. You guys will
You're a vampire. You
You're
don't
not
actually
snore. You don't breathe.
That's him forcing himself to snore.
How do you know a vampire is faking being asleep?
When he snores? So I go over and kick the coffin. Stop it.
Just to be an asshole.
If these people wake up and find you locked in a coffin because you're snoring loudly, I will burn the coffin down around you.
All right.
So we need to go.
That's fine.
We need to go talk to people. We don't know anything about the painters yet. We don't know anything about the kid yet. I look over at Isla. Do you want to try calling the kid again? Do you think that'll be worth it?
I might as well leave another message. Couldn't hurt.
And while she's doing that, I'm going to call Jimmy.
Okay.
So she just leaves another message. What's the kid's name again?
Ronaldo Juarez.
Ronaldo.
I think that was his name. Yeah.
Juarez.
Hi, Ronaldo. It's Officer Kimbrough again. Just calling to see if you got my other message. Please give me a call back as soon as you can. Just want to know you're all right. She leaves the number.
Okay.
Now that the call of Juarez is done.
No. Just no.
You set it up. You set it up. I just followed through what you set up. And then we'll call Jimmy.
All right. Yep. 2 rings and Simon answers. Speak.
Hello, Simon. This is Gabriel Adelmar. Is Jimmy around?
Sec. Gabriel, what do you have?
A thought and a question.
All right.
I was thinking, why would vampires, assuming they are vampires, steal blood rather than drink it?
Storage, banking, rituals.
The one thing that comes to mind is to feed someone who's incapable of feeding themselves.
Incapable how? You
Physically.
think they're trying to... Okay. So somebody in torpor.
Or someone who has had their limbs shot off. Or ripped
Conceivably,
off.
we can regenerate somewhat. Generally, normal technique is just find the limb and hold it on and spend some blood, but...
Well, this has only started recently.
True.
Perhaps their limbs were destroyed beyond repair. Perhaps they were caught in a fire.
Conceivably.
Are there any hospitals run by our kind in the city?
Not directly.
Places where one might store large quantities of blood in cylinders.
Rumor has it that the Regent has a few ghouls at Kindred.
My thinking is if we can find where the blood is being stored, we can find who's storing it. We know what the containers look like for the most part.
That would probably be true.
And considering that no one I've asked recognizes the device, I imagine the containers are fairly unique.
Yes. Well, if the Seneschal is willing to meet with you and can provide the information on where her ghouls are employed at Kindred, she might be able to shed some light on that. There's any number of options as far as that goes. Of course, if Dunayevskaya is the mastermind behind all of this, approaching her directly would be a terrible idea.
I have a feeling that the Dunayevskaya is the Seneschal or the prince.
Seneschal.
She's the seneschal.
Yep. Enriquez is the prince.
Yeah. While that would be true, I have this strange feeling that it's not in the Seneschal's best interest to break the Masquerade.
Probably not. Do you think the breaking of the Masquerade is a objective, or do you think it's an unfortunate side effect?
I'm not certain yet.
Oh, come on. It's definitely an objective. Come on.
It does seem odd that one would drain humans entirely
2 punctures?
twice in a manner that is reminiscent of a vampire bite, if not 100% accurate to a vampire bite. Once could be construed as an accident. Twice.
Did you get a look at the perpetrators? Facial features?
No, they were masked. We know they're supernatural. We know they have enough force to punch a hole through a wall with their bare fingers.
All right.
Did not see their faces. They were clothed, camouflage, military type gear, I believe.
Interesting. Very well.
Not.
If, as you say, breaking the Masquerade is one of the objectives, even if it's a secondary, and the item itself was crafted in order to make the resemblance, which does seem to be the case, it doesn't represent a normal bite. Maybe look into the Nosferatu. It's obviously attempting to mirror their mark. If it's an attempt to make a mirror.
I can inquire.
I'll see what I can find as well, if anybody has it in for them, particularly.
Yes.
Anybody more than usual, I mean.
Fair. And how might one go about acquiring an audience for the Seneschal?
I'll put you in touch with someone.
My thanks.
Yes. Might best do it through her clan.
What clan is the Seneschal?
Ventru.
Ventru. Do I know any Ventru?
You know the name of the Primogen, that's about it.
Okay. I was just
He goes by
curious.
Virgil.
Yeah.
Obviously that's probably not his real name, but he
I'm-
probably but the Ventru proclivity for naming yourself after ancient Greeks and Romans is still strong even in these nights.
What you're saying is I need to make some friends.
Rather.
Well then. One last question. Do you know where Elysium is tonight?
Tonight it's not being held, actually.
Is there any way I can get on the mailing list?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Well, then,
Go ahead and give me an intelligence and etiquette roll, difficulty 6. Gabriel.
intelligence. You don't ask that question. That's our question.
Not exactly.
3 successes.
Yeah, that's a little weird to not have Elysium held on any given night.
Yep. Out of
Generally, for Camarilla, that's a
Yeah.
normal thing you do every night.
Out of curiosity, why is there no Elysium tonight? Do you know?
Your guess is as good as mine. One of the great Seattle questions.
Very well. I will speak to you later.
Absolutely. Keep me abreast of whatever you find.
I will, and good hunting.
Likewise.
Click.
Okay. What's Isla doing right now?
As I'm having this conversation.
Just hanging around listening to the conversation, basically.
Oh, okay.
Her attention is pretty much by default always on whatever Gabriel is doing.
For a 2/3 blood bonded person, that's fairly accurate.
Fairly accurate. Um. Look over at Isla. Was there any place in the city in particular that your sire liked to patron?
Yeah, Isla would know this, but I don't know the city, so storyteller, what are some of his
What's some of his hangouts?
haunts? Where did he take Isla when they had, dates and whatnot?
Okay. He was an aficionado of the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a couple bars, exactly a couple, actually, 2 bars around the university district that he would go to talk literature and poetry with people.
Okay. So she passes that information along to Gabriel and names the 2 bars, I guess.
Right, which are Blue Moon Tavern and the District.
Of those 3 places, which was more special to the 2 of you?
Storyteller? I mean,
As far as that goes, it would have been I actually have a name for it, but I don't see it in my notes. Let me do a quick search, and I will find that for you.
okay.
And I will explain my thinking. Because if this person is not an imposter, or if he is an imposter that has the memories of your sire, I imagine his next place of trying to leave a message for you would be some place the 2 of you share memory in.
He might expect that I would go to that place looking for him now that he has left the message here for me.
Especially if it's an imposter. That might
Either
be the
way.
to lure you to a trap.
And if it is not an imposter, it might be his way of luring me somewhere where he can speak to me and tell me what's going on.
Precisely. I think it's a good idea for us to investigate.
I think so too. But I think it would be best if he did not see you with me. Obviously, I would need you to be close in case something went wrong, but I should appear to be alone in either case.
I will be as silent as a shadow.
All
Theater
right.
off Jackson, that's what it's called.
Theater off Jackson?
Theater off Jackson.
That is a bar?
No,
For
that is
what?
that is the place where he would frequently take you for performances and that sort of thing.
Okay. And so that's where we're thinking that would be the most special place for the two of us.
Yes.
But okay. Okay, theater off Jackson. Should we go there now then, do you think?
Yes, I think that would be a good
Are you-
idea.
Okay. You should not drive me. I should take public transportation of some sort so that I can appear to be on my own. But please keep an eye on the place.
Let me check something out. Yes, okay. That's a good idea, but first, I need you to take something for me. I'm going to pull out a handkerchief, cut my palm, and wipe it through the blood. Seal it.
Okay.
Take a good whiff of my own blood so I know I can track it, and hand it to her. Keep this on you so I can find you.
She just takes it and looks kind of like you just hit her between the eyes with a 2x4. Exerting great self-control not to just, stuff the thing in her mouth immediately, but holds on to it as instructed.
Yep. Go ahead and make me just in case. Well, actually, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
All right. I will follow. I will follow.
And she actually does put the thing down the front of her shirt, just tucks it into her bra or what have you. Rather than
Okay.
putting it in her pocket,
All right. So, you're headed to a bus stop or something? I
Raphael's face.
guess?
I mean, you can call an Uber out front. That's not a.
Yeah. What's it called? I was gonna say, as this obnoxious snoring was happening, I did text to the group, 55th Street between Roosevelt and 20th Ave. I'm gonna put it into the chat, but I'm also going to say, we'll talk about this more tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Isla has stopped responding at all to Lysander's text messages. She's like pretending he doesn't exist right now because she's
Cuts
so
both
hurt.
ways.
So hurt.
Cuts both ways.
So yeah,
Lysander probably doesn't care and just goes back to sleep.
I'm gonna go ahead and drive up to the theater
Okay.
and wait until I smell Isla approaching.
All right. Isla, how are you getting there?
Whatever way is easiest. Just
Okay.
Probably a
Yeah.
lift.
whatever won't require me to make any complicated rolls that I could botch. I just want to get there.
All right. Sounds good. So you call a Lyft or an Uber or something of that
Okay.
sort. Give me a willpower roll, difficulty 4.
And remind me, that's just how do I do that again? I'm
That's
sorry.
the button next to willpower.
Okay. Difficulty 4.
Yes.
4 successes.
All right. Sounds good. So you are not compelled to suck on the handkerchief.
Unless you just really want to.
Unless you just really want to. But you are not forced to.
She understands.
Your predatory
she's-
impulses do not
Right.
do not
She's
rear
been,
their ugly
she's
head.
been given instructions. She's been given instructions by Gabriel, so she wants to comply with his instructions.
Yes, that's also very true. Okay, so after about half an hour, your vehicle drops you off outside the theater.
I am tracking her with my nose.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception and alertness roll, difficulty 5. It's your own blood.
And I'm using my allspecs, so.
Okay, reduced as needed. Probably won't
Perception.
be any trouble.
Perception alertness.
Perception alertness. Mhm.
Difficulty 3. 4 successes.
Okay, So yeah,
So
as
once
soon as she gets out of the car, you've got a lock.
once I know that, I want to use my aura perception
Okay.
to lock onto her aura and follow it, so that I don't have to be close to follow her.
Okay.
Once I know where.
For that, then, perception and empathy, difficulty 8, reduced as needed.
One success.
Okay. So yeah, you can see that there's a single pale aura transiting down the sidewalk towards the theater.
Yep. And I'm just gonna.
What page is all that aura stuff on, by the way?
That's on 136, 135, 136.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna follow at a good distance,
Okay.
and I'm looking for any other pale auras that might be trying to intercept her.
With that roll, you can only focus on one aura.
Okay.
So you can either track her or look for another aura.
I'm tracking her.
Okay, sounds good then. All right, so Isla, you're headed down the sidewalk. You're about a block away from the theater, and you're starting to remember poetry readings here, modern plays that were produced and performed. Walking arm in arm with Derek into the doors, finding seats, hours spent under dim light late at night watching art, watching composition, watching performances.
So Gabriel can probably just see her aura getting all silver and sad.
Yep.
And some blue love struck in there too. And she just sort of haunts the kind of the entrance area of the theater. She's just sort of pacing back and forth and brooding and just sort of haunting the place to see if she attracts the attention of anyone who might be watching the place.
Okay. And assuming no contact, how long will you wait?
Until Gabriel tells me to get the hell out of there, basically.
Okay.
She's now pretty fixated and obsessed. Yeah, there's going to be some green in that aura too. the green starts to increase the longer the night goes on. All green and silver and blue, this aura. So lovely.
So, 10 minutes go by. 20. 30. And Isla sees somebody step out of the theater, light up a cigarette, glance over at her, and then start walking her direction.
Okay.
Give me a...
So, I was gonna say after the first 10 minutes of her being still, I was going to post up somewhere where I could get a clear line of sight of where she's at, and turn off aura perception and just start watching the people.
Watching the people? All right. Isla, give me a... Give me an intelligence and empathy roll, difficulty 6.
Okay. 4 successes.
Okay. You recognize this individual as someone who you've seen perform here before, several times actually. It's been several years. They've aged, but they were an actor in several plays. They did a few readings as well during certain literary events that were held here. And he walks up to you, and with just a faint tilt of his head, I've seen you before, right? Did you audition a couple years back?
I used to come here a lot. I saw you perform a lot. You were very good.
Oh, thanks. What brings you here tonight? And as
Just,
you're looking at the place, you noticed that it was closed. There weren't any performances tonight. There were definitely lights on in the interior, probably either rehearsals or some sort of internal event going on.
mhm. Nostalgia, basically. The man who used to bring me here, he died some time ago, and I've only recently come back into town myself, and
God, I'm
just
sorry.
just been thinking of him and reminiscing.
Yeah, definitely. Did you want to come inside?
I really appreciate the invitation, but I think I just need to work through some things, you know?
Okay.
Maybe
Well,
some other time.
yeah, definitely. We're here all year.
Thank you.
Condolences.
Thank you.
And he'll turn around and put his cigarette in whatever exterior ashtray they have and go back inside.
So she just kind of paces back and forth for a little while longer, you know, like, I don't know, maybe another half hour or whatever just wouldn't seem absolutely insane.
Yeah, after a full hour, if nothing has happened, Gabriel will start approaching.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, it takes a full hour. People walk by. Isla catches her own share of glances, but nobody stops to talk or anything. Nobody seems to be paying undue attention or looking at her in any suspicious manner. It's just your standard sort of pretty girl on a sidewalk event. So Gabriel will walk up.
Walk up, offer an arm.
And she takes it, and she's looking really pretty bummed out at this point.
Continue walking. Is there like an alleyway that cuts past the theater?
There's one around the back. Yeah.
Yeah. Does it look like a place you could just cut through to get to another street?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll sort of steer us down that alleyway,
Okay.
looking to
All right,
see if
yep.
there's
Dumpsters, trash cans, whole
graffiti
shebang.
or anything.
Give me a perception and alertness, difficulty 7, reduced as needed.
Nope, not pool mod. Two successes.
There is some graffiti there. Nothing that really stands out particularly. Most of it looks pretty shoddy. Not really a work of art. There aren't any messages in letters or familiar handwriting. There's a couple. It's more of a basic tag / slightly graphic
Yeah.
spattering of random stuff.
Well, nothing tonight, or at least not for now.
I feel like he must really be gone. I think if he were alive, I think if he were looking for me, I think he would be trying much harder than this to find me.
I'll reach up with my free hand, gently, like comfortingly caress a cheek.
And that does seem to make her feel better. She's like, oh, well, you know. New obsession. I can do this.
No worries. We'll discover what's going on.
Thank you.
And when we do, I will gladly hand you whatever torch you want to burn it to the ground.
Well, I have you. I don't need a torch.
Fair enough. So,
I know these two are just too much.
yeah, it's a thing. So I think back. I pull up as we like sort of pause at the other side of the theater. Pull out my phone and check the address that Lysander sent.
Yep.
Do I know that that's in the University District?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You said that the other two locations that he frequented were in the University District, correct?
That's right.
Are they anywhere near here? And I indicate the street that he sent us.
Are they?
The locations are both about 3 or 4 blocks south, but it's the same general area.
As the address that Lysander texted everybody?
Yeah.
Then yes.
Perhaps we might go check this out. The coincidence of these two locations also happening to be in the same area our first murders happened in. Simad.
All right. Whatever you think is best.
And we'll forsake public transportation this time, and lead her back to my car and drive
Yeah,
up there.
she's no longer worried about the jealous rage of a guy who's probably dead.
Okay. So you guys are driving back north. Meanwhile, Lysander. You've lost consciousness. You've entered whatever passes for sleep for the undead, and your mind is full of shifting images.
Oh no.
The face of your sire figures pretty heavily in a lot of them, but it's constantly shifting, changing. Diana turns into what you think was the girl you fed from tonight. She turns into Donna. She turns into the Prince of Seattle. Just this wild cacophony of different females that you have met or interacted with over the course of the last few months.
She turned into Serenity, and you're scared for your life. Oh God, she's gonna kill me.
She turns into Isla, and suddenly you just don't give a damn anymore.
Oh, harsh.
She turned into one of them right after the other.
But throughout them, you're struck by the idea that she is not these people. She's not any of the people that you've interacted with since you've come to this city. She is unique to you. She is singular. She's not like anybody you've ever met before. She's not like anybody you've ever met since. Give me an intelligence, or actually no, a wits and occult roll, difficulty 6.
Okay.
Dice penalty doesn't apply to this one.
Wait, you said it was wits and occult?
Wits and occult. Mm-hmm.
2 successes.
And as these various images flash past your mind's eye, as whatever remains of your subconscious begins to try and work through these revelations you've had over the past few days and the impassioned stress that you've been under since the knowledge has come to the forefront, you start to realize the common thread. It's not that she is reflected in these people, and it's not that these people are taking her place or supplanting her in your mind. This is what Ravnos do. They cast illusions. And then the full expanse of all of these faces. Prince, Seneschal, various people that you've seen in Elysium, victims that you've fed on, both in the domain and without. The two females that you've been spending the most of your time with as partners in this investigation, they all stand in front of you, shoulder to shoulder, with Diana's face looming larger behind them, and strings connected to fingers attached, some around their shoulders, some around their necks. And she clenches her fists and throws her arms wide, and they all scatter like leaves in a cold wind. And blood begins to spill from her lips. Not in an injured sense, but as if it's falling towards your own open mouth. And then the fire comes. And that memory of a corpse, cold, limp, swiftly degrading into ash as it lay in your arms, that memory washes over your mind. And for a brief moment, it's not her face. It's a face you don't recognize. And then the ash coats your legs and your hands and blows away in a wind that you can't feel. And your eyes snap open with the taste of blood in your mouth.
She's not dead. And I call Gabriel.
Gabriel, your phone rings.
Hello.
She's not dead. She's not dead.
Who's not dead? Your sire?
Diana isn't dead. You're playing tricks with me.
Who is it?
I pull the car to the side of the road so I don't crash.
She, the body that I had, that face, it wasn't her. It wasn't her.
Who are you talking to?
Be careful out there. I don't know what she's up to. I don't know what she might be able to do. Just be careful. Don't go to 55th without me. And I hang up the phone.
He hung up before I could say I won't. That was Lysander. Apparently he feels that his sire is not dead. Pull the car off and continue to 55th Street.
Oh. All right. So, 55th, excuse me, is mostly residential. But there are portions of the street, nearby business areas, where you can see that these are places that are frequented mostly, it seems, by the college-age student crowd.
Okay.
And you don't see any current graffiti. I mean, there's things painted on walls, but it's mostly business logos and that sort of thing.
Yeah. And at the intersection that he gave us, what's there?
He would have given you two intersections. Are you at the east end or the west end?
55th and something was the thing that he gave.
I
okay.
said 55th between Roosevelt and 20th Ave Northeast.
Oh, between Roosevelt and 20th Avenue.
Yeah.
Start at one, go to the other.
Okay. The 20th Avenue intersection is basically just a T intersection where 55th, being a smaller road, meets a larger arterial. As you look around there, you don't see anything particularly notable. It's simply the road sort of comes down a little bit of a hill and tees off in front of a couple of houses. On the other end, it's a four-way. And at that location, there's like a small auto shop, a couple stores, and that sort of thing. But once again, nothing that seems too significant in that area.
It's 55th and what were the two streets?
20th and Roosevelt.
Ah, there it is.
Are you looking for anything in particular, or just trying to get your lay of the land?
Just trying to get my sort of the lay of the land. Where might be a, and where in relation to to this street are the bars?
They're about 4 or 5 blocks south of there.
Okay.
Yeah, if you take Roosevelt down to 45th, you'd go left to get to Blue Moon, and right to get to the district.
Okay, I'm seeing Roosevelt now. I'm not sure what he was talking about. There's nothing here. I'm gonna park and I go. Actually, I'm gonna drive back. I'm gonna drive down Roosevelt towards the first bar.
College Pub Inn. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It's about another 3 or 4 blocks south again.
Yep. And park there.
Okay. All right, so you're parked there kind of close to University and 40th.
Okay. I'm just trying to find the map.
Yep. Okay.
Wait, what's the Wall of Death?
I don't know. I haven't even run into that yet.
I may have gone too far south.
It sounds like the sort of thing that
death, you've gone
too far.
When you hit the Wall of Death, you've gone too far.
Yeah, no, that's about the right distance south to go, but then you have to go down like Lincoln into 40th before you get to the College Inn pub.
College Inn pub. Let's just do that one. Do that. There we go. Okay, found it.
Yep.
That's down University, not Roosevelt.
Right.
Sorry, you said Roosevelt. That's why I found the Wall of Death.
Oh,
first.
well, yeah. Yeah. Then you have to make a pretty sharp right.
Yep. Okay, yeah. Go there and park. And anything stand out to you?
Give me a perception and alertness roll. Difficulty 7.
Both of us?
Yes, actually. Because Isla has a chance to recognize this as well.
0.
What was the difficulty? Perception, alertness?
Yep. Difficulty 7.
7.
Reduced as needed.
0.
Okay.
And absolutely nothing happens, and we can
Right. Now, you look around
why I
and
told
you see
not to go without me.
you see a number of people walking in and out.
You're in
It's about midnight right about now, probably.
Mhm.
And yeah, it seems like the late night, we're done studying, it's time to party crew is in full swing.
I'm going to do an aura perception of the crowd.
Okay.
I want to see if anything jumps out at me in an aura perception win.
All right, then. Let me take a look at one thing. Give me perception and empathy, difficulty 8, reduced as needed. And are you looking for at a particular person, or are you trying to do a cursory scan of a large area kind
I'm
of thing?
scanning the crowd.
Okay.
3 successes.
And what characteristic of aura are you looking for?
Pale aura.
Okay. You see one.
I sort of direct focus to that one.
Okay. It's somebody inside the inn, inside the bar, probably about a table or two away from the window. You would probably have to get closer or switch off your perception and hit your aspects pretty hard if you're going to get any information or perspective on them.
Would you care for a drink? I'll say to Isla while staring at the bar.
Certainly.
Get out of the car.
Okay.
Remove hat, throw it in car. Remove jacket, throw it in car. Loosen shirt. And then roll sleeves up. Offer arm.
All right.
Iowa takes Gabriel's arm and follows him into the bar.
Head towards the bar.
Okay.
And like as we get closer, it actually shifts so that my arm's around her waist rather than realizing, wait, college kids. So, yeah,
Okay.
arm around waist, just sort of walk into the bar with her, and still, sort of casually glancing around, but trying to focus down on the aura that I'm seeing.
Okay. All right, then. Give me a perception and alertness. Difficulty 8, reduced as needed.
Oh, not pull mod. I've done that like 5 times tonight. 1 success.
All right. So people are coming and going, in and out. There's a fair bit of motion. And you're trying to keep a lock on the position, but shifting between our perception and back to just normal vision is a little complicated, and you lose focus for just a minute. And then all of a sudden, the 2 people step, one to the left, one to the right, and you see Mark sitting at the table.
Marky Mark?
And that's where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Ah.
Who's Mark?
He's one of the first murder.
The one that's been seen again.
That Mark.
Yep.
And he was just like,
But whatever
"Hello?
that bodes, you all shall have to tune in next
Is
week
it me
to
you're
find
looking
out.
for?"
No, he wasn't like that.
In my head, he was.
All right, so thank you all very much for joining us here at Final Show Films. We produce a wide variety of content every day of the week. You can check us out on our website at finalshowfilms.com. You can also check us out on our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms. You can also find us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/finalshowfilms. And if you want to support us with a monthly donation, you can do so on the Patreon. We thank all of our Patreon supporters, especially our $25 supporters, Chris Comfort and Antitonic. Sorry, my nose is all stuffy. We'd also like to thank 411mania.com, on whose website all of our stuff gets put. Go check them out. They're awesome. They do a lot of geek-related culture stuff. Wrestling, MMA, comic books, music, and gaming entertainment. And also, Raphael has something he would like to say. Raphael, go.
Oh, hey guys. By the way, if you didn't know, I go by the stage name Dupree Suave. I'm actually also a musician, and I just released an EP about a couple weeks ago called Against All Advances, which you can find on soundcloud.com/Dupree Suave. It's a 4-piece EP project that I'm working for, a 4-piece project I'm titling Play 12. It's going to be more to come soon. Go ahead, check it out. Hope you enjoy it.
And he's got
Awesome!
he's got all these musical theater people that he didn't ask to provide vocals with, and kind of insulted. But anyways,
I
just
still have
playing.
more stuff I'm working on.
yeah, I'm just playing. Michelle, did you want to throw something out there as well?
Oh yeah, I have a book coming out March 21st. This is actually the second book of an urban fantasy series. The first one is called Borderline, and it's already out if you want to check it out. And the second one's coming out on the 21st.
Lots of praise for those books, so go check them out. We appreciate Michelle for joining us. We appreciate Raphael for lending us his musical talents. Even though most of the time he spends locked in a coffin.
I'm almost out, guys.
Almost done.
Almost
done.
Hashtag free Lysander.
Hashtag free Lysander. We appreciate you for watching, and if you're watching on YouTube, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below. I get all the comments that you guys put out. We appreciate them all. We appreciate you, and we'll see you all next time. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.